What's up, people? Today I'm going to be doing a movie review on Strays. This is my spoiler warning, so if you have not seen this film, it has come out quite recently, so yeah, if you haven't seen it, you want to ruin, then click off. But yeah, spoiler warning. As usual, I'm going to give you the breakdown. So I'm going to give you my initial thoughts and the positives and negatives. The positives are going to be comedy bits V1, dog teamwork / bondage, and nice message. For the negatives, I'm going to be giving comedy bits V2 and general misplacements, and then I'll end it with my ending thoughts. So when I saw the trailer in theaters, I was intrigued in, watching a comedy movie with dogs, because why not? I'll admit, I was having thoughts on the actual comedies in potentially using such dead kind of humor in it. And although there was, at moments, other forms of comedy that they did made up for it. In general, it was a fun film, from beginning to end, and it generally made me have at least some laughs at times. So first I'm going to get into comedy bits V1. So as I said, certain comedy bits definitely made up from the comedy that were less funny / typical. Not just that, some of the comedy bits that they did here, and it's to be expected, but it's definitely good to point out, obviously, that it went along with the aspects of the dog, just in a comedic, twist. An example being when they were at the fair and the fireworks were going off and they got so scared and startled to the point where they thought that it was bombs going off and they started running through the fair to get out, just being overly dramatic. Another being when they all ate mushrooms and they were so tripped out that what they thought was toy bunnies turned out to be real bunnies, and guts was just everywhere once realized. And even the more simpler comedy, the ones that actually fit more into the aspects of a dog itself, when they were just pumping random things and even peeing on things in order to claim them. And those maybe had some chuckles. Next, I'm going to go into dog teamwork / bondage. This feature of the 4 dogs in being different from each other, whether it's on a certain ability or just kind of the way that they act / think, it's definitely helped on certain parts throughout the film, whether it's for comedy's sake or something more in the general story. Really basic story, I should say. A good example is when Maggie sniffed Reggie's owner's bandana and managed to get the whiff of the smell of it that led directly back to Reggie's house and led to the epic scene of, just biting his owner's off. Or even just the pure difference in how Reggie and Bug act. While Reggie is more calm and cheerful, Bug acts more tough and loudmouth, full of curse words. So really, I would say for the first 2 points that I just mentioned, it's a nice kind of mixture of a lot of things in this film, so it's has something for everybody. And lastly, I'll talk about nice message. So from the beginning, it's pretty clear that Reggie's owner wasn't the nicest kind, and I did on the clear message on abusive owners treating their dogs poorly and not calling them good boys. So even for a purely comedic focused dog movie, it still managed to bring forth a message in there. Now I'll be going to the negatives, starting with comedy bits B2. So there are definitely some comedy that didn't really hit as well, and I would say it should have been replaced by something else. An example being was when Bug was taken by an eagle and Reggie was trying to save him. Even with some of the jokes that I had some chuckles in, also didn't really hit that well at times. And lastly, I'll be talking about certain misplacement / unfit scenario. So although not much, there was some moments that could have been placed better or just really not added in the film. A misplacement for me was about Bug explaining his backstory of his owner that was taken away from him. Well, not too long ago, the group had pretty much just been captured by animal control and put in a cell. I felt like it would have been better if it was more a personal talk, let's say between Reggie and Bug, since it was Reggie that Bug could have related to the most. And an unfitting scenario was the lost girl that really just happened at random. I guess it was to have that scenario in order to have the canine unit dogs, for them to have a role. It still felt unfitting, and it generally could have been better if, let's say, during the whole custody scene of the canines, have them detained or whatever. They eventually could have just had a random sporadic moment and just sprinting across, and then somehow them all ending up still being taken by animal control. So that could at least been a bit funnier to me, but I don't know. That's just me. As a whole, I had a decent laugh with this film. Whether it's the silly comedy of humping objects / peeing in claiming something, or to biting your owner for revenge, you can have a good time in the adventure of this group of stray dogs. As for the rating of this film, I would give Strays a 7 out of 10. It's generally nice to see a comedy movie, and yeah, just to have a pretty decent time with it, I won't lie. But anyways, later.